Sunday morning stretch like a song. Mileage and memories keep him moving on. If your compass is broken or you're lost in the sand, he'll show you the way with a helping hand. Roll on, roll on, in the light of dawn. Coffee cup, open road, and the worry is gone. Master of the miles, with a heart that understands. Always a helping hand. Sun peaks up over pine and steel. Camp stove humming, coffee seals a deal. He checks the engine with a calm, steady hand. Maps out the miles like he knows this land. Smile for the neighbors, tools in the van. Sunday roads belong to the traveling man. Roll on, in the light of dawn. Coffee cup, open road, and the worry's gone. Master of the miles, with a heart that understands. Always a helping hand. On and down he hears the kids laugh loud. Fixes a loose latch, stands a little proud. Tells a small story, teaches how to mend. Promises to stick around till the weekend. Warmth in his voice, steady as the sun.
Testing, testing. Oh, there we go. There we go. Getting the mic done. Let's see. Where's the camera here? There we go. There we go. Welcome, everyone. Now that we got that all sorted out, let me go ahead and now figure out why this is all weird. There we go. All right. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. If you just bought your first rig, or even if you're a seasoned RVer, you probably realized one universal truth: an RV out of the factory is incomplete. It doesn't have everything you need. So today we're gonna spend some time digging into accessories you're gonna need to get for your travel trailer, fifth wheel, Class A, B, C, Super C, truck camper, and we're going to go over those. So these are some top 10 absolute must-have RV accessories. That's going to save you, could save you money, could save you time, stress on your investment. So grab your cup of coffee, settle in, and let's make your next trip a little bit easier for you. All right. So let me, I got some items here, and I got all my links down in the descriptions below for everything we're about to talk about. So check those out. Give it a look. But the first one we're going to look at is going to be a surge protector. So if you tune into the electrical video I made, we talked about surge protectors and the importance of them. So they are important to have. Campground pedestals are notoriously unreliable. A single power spike, a low voltage drop, a misfired pedestal can instantly fry your RV's refrigerator, air conditioner, sensitive electronics. So one of the big ones is your converter. That's what charges your battery. These things will protect you, especially when you're under warranty. So under warranty, you have to provide pictures and evidence of when things fail. And there's certain things that they look for on electrical components to see if it was a potential power surge. And if it was, they're going to deny that. So one of the things to help prevent that is these surge protectors. So as you can see, the Power Watchdog here is a very good brand of surge protector. They make it in a 30 amp and a 50 amp. But you can see here, you got different indicators here, and some of their new ones even have a screen here that will show you different error codes if it needs to, and stuff like that. But it'll tell you if it's got an open neutral, open ground, line 1, and neutral or reversed, or if there's no power. So these little lights will shine up just like that. On a 50 amp, you'll have a line 1 and a line 2, so you'll have a little bit more with a 50 amp just because you have that extra hot line. Now there is a little bit difference between a surge protector and EMS, which is electric management system. So a surge protector only absorbs sudden high voltage spikes like lightning strikes and stuff like that get into our power grid. An EMS continually monitors voltage. It automatically shuts off power if voltage drops below 104 volts AC, which is alternating current, or rises above 132 volts AC. It also detects open grounds and reverse polarities. So like this one is a EMS, even though it says smart surge protector, that's kind of their way. The smart is the EMS, so the electrical managing system. As we can see here, we got this one here. So it's got the 30 amp plug on the top, 30 amp on the bottom. So my way of plugging this in is you're going to plug this in to your power pole, let it do its thing, then you'll plug your short cord in here on the bottom. And these boxes are all waterproof and everything like that. So everything's good there. Another thing, always, these are pretty expensive, so like a few $100, but they could save you thousands. So just think about it that way. They have these little eyelets here, right? And those are kind of meant to pull them out. But what I would recommend is getting like a little bike cable lock, and you run it through one of these. That way you can attach this to the pedestal so someone can't walk off with your surge protector. Another thing is before you plug this top piece in to the pedestal, turn that breaker off at the pedestal first. That way when you're pushing it in, you're not going in crooked, not going to create that arc and spark, not going to create that power surge through the surge protector. Plug it in, turn the breaker on, make sure it reads its codes, that it's powered on, everything is good. Turn that breaker back off and then plug your short cord in, turn it back on again, let it do its thing, and then it'll start sending power to the coach. And that'll just make sure that you're going nice and safe with your AC power into your coach. All right, anyone got any questions on that, surge protectors or anything? All righty. All right, so the next one, this one's kind of important here too. That's going to be a water regulator. Now this one is adjustable. You can see it goes from 0 to 160 psi, and that's what this knob is on the top. You don't necessarily have to do an adjustable one, but just make sure that you are using a water regulator. RV plumbing systems are built with plastic fittings and flexible tubing. They're typically rated for about 50 to 60 psi. However, some city water connections in RV parks can spike to 80 to 100 psi, which can instantly bust those internal pipes or cause leaks in fittings and connections, especially those barb fittings where they're just kind of held on by a clamp. You have two different ones. So the one I'm showing you on screen is an adjustable regulator, but you also have fixed regulators. They're cheap. They're made of brass too that restricts flow. They can often result in weak shower pressure. Whereas an adjustable one allows you to dial into that 45 to 55 psi. This protects your system while maintaining great water flow. Just something that has kind of come into the RV industry as of probably the last couple years is these on-demand water heaters have saw a huge spike in installations. And what we're finding is in RV parks, there's they're starting to meter the water pressure to these RV parks from the city because so many people are living in campers now. And these water regulators are actually slowing that flow down enough that the water heaters aren't kicking on. And I've had to actually tell some customers to take it off because the park pressure is already at 40 psi. Well, that's like bare minimum for those water heaters because they're all done by flow and how much gallons per minute it's pushing through that. And so with an adjustable one, you can adjust it. So that's where that one would actually come in a little bit better if you invested a little bit more into that regulator, is if you have one of those on demands. So then you can adjust the water pressure and allow more flow without having to disconnect and reconnect that water regulator. So you're going to connect that regulator directly to the campground spigot. Now, I say that because that's kind of a tech controversial topic. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. But at the same time it does. So they say put it at the spigot so then it protects your garden hose. Well, the same city water pressure comes out of my spigot at my house, and I don't have a water regulator on that. And I've never had a garden hose burst. So, but I can understand. protect your investment. Why not just put it on the spigot side so that way everything's protected? So do with that in what you will, but I don't think that is necessarily a fact. I just don't. It doesn't make sense. I guarantee I could go to any technician's house right now and they don't have a water regulator on their garden hose in front of their house to protect their hose from overpressurization. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and if someone has it, I'm sure it's very low percentage. But you're going to connect that directly at the spigot. Then you're going to attach that inline water filter, which we're going to cover that in a little bit. To the regulator, connect your drinking hose to that filter, and then you're going to turn on the water and inspect the gauge before opening your RV valves. So you're going to make sure that pressure, you can set it, you're going to turn it, or if you have the one that's just a fixed regulator, just kind of check for leaks outside and then go inside, start checking for leaks inside, all that kind of stuff. If you are using a new filter, so it hasn't previously been ran, I do recommend running some water through that before you connect it to your RV, because some of them do have that charcoal in it, so you just want to kind of flush that out and get all the dust and stuff out of that before it starts getting into your water lines and clogging those aerators. All right, anyone got any questions on that? Anything I can help with when it comes to connecting your freshwater line to a water regulator? Just drop that in the comment. Alrighty, so we're gonna head on to number 3. Alright, so one of the things that don't ever come with an RV, unless you get kind of a higher end motorhome or a higher end fifth wheel that has a macerator, and then it'll come with that macerator hose, is a RV sewer hose. So with the RV sewer hose, I always recommend getting at least a 20-footer. I know some people will try to save a little money on the 15-footers, but that extra 5 feet could actually mean a lot to you for that extra little bit. And you're not necessarily stuck, because then if you get a 20-footer and you go to a campsite and you're like, man, this just isn't long enough. Well, then you can go buy 10-footers, and now you have a 30-foot. So it just gives you a little bit more range here, but cheap sewer hoses that come bundled up with your RV are incredibly thin. They're usually that blue one. They only have the connection on the one end, and another one you just got to shove down the hole there at the campsite. They pinhole easily, crack in the sun, and lead to a messy cleanup. Upgrading to a premium thick gauge hose is essential for sanitary waste management. That 20 mil TPC or thicker vinyl construction is what you're looking for. You want that clear elbow, so like this one. So Rhino-Flex is a great brand. These hose, I've stepped on them, and they kind of get that little pinch point where you step on them, but they don't typically break. The only thing I've really seen with these hoses that start to be an issue is inside the connection here on the end of the hose. The rubber seal will sometimes get dirty or start to dry rot, but you can actually just buy seals for your hoses, so you don't have to replace the whole hose. So Rhino's a good brand. I think the other one is Gorilla, which is a black and yellow box, and then there's one other one. I think it's black and green, but I don't remember the name of that one. I haven't seen that one too much, but it's kind of the same construction as the Rhino. But I do have this one linked down in the comment or in the description, so go check it out. They have a couple different sizes, so if you already got one and you just need a 15-footer, go ahead and get that. I do like the clear elbows. Those are really nice for when you're doing your tank flush, because you can literally watch all the gook and stuff coming out of that black tank, and when you start getting clear water, you can go ahead and turn it off, so you can actually see if you got good clean water, no chunks, nothing like that. So clear elbow. Sewer hose supports, so they make the little tracks that kind of keep it so it's flowing down. You can do that. It kind of helps if you're going to be long term. You can do what they call a P-trap, where you kind of have a little dip in the hose. That one I don't really understand. Like, I understand the premise of the P-trap because it's helped to prevent the smell from coming back into the coach. Well, you shouldn't be leaving your tank valves open anyway, so that smell should never be making it back into the coach. And when you're flushing it, the water is pushing the smell back down into the sewer. So you can put a P-trap in there. I definitely get it, definitely understand. But at the same time, I don't think it's necessary, even if you're long-term staying, because if you're using your tank valves correctly, so opening your black tank, flushing your black tank, closing the black tank, open the gray tank, close the gray tank, leave it closed until your next dump, then you're not going to get that smell back inside anyways. And if you are getting a smell, it's because your tanks are dirty, not because the sewer hose is allowing the smell to come back in. And at that point, you want to use some tank chemicals, some enzymes. So I always recommend the Blue Power, or if your tank is really bad and what we like to call the poop pyramids in there, you're going to want to use that Liquid Alive, which I believe I mentioned in a video already on the top 10 like tools, and that was like an honorable mention, I believe. If I didn't, I can pull that up here and we can go over that too. So here's that Rhino hose, as you can see. So it's got the nice solid plastic connections on the end, and then this is a thick, durable TPC hose. It's got the clear elbow, and then what's nice is most of these sewer kits come with end caps. So when you're unhooking, you can actually put these caps on there, so any residual water that gets stuck in these ribs gets trapped in there. And then I've seen a few things for storage. So if your RV doesn't have a storage place for it, I recommend either getting like a Rubbermaid tote. You can go to, Costco or anything like that and get one of the black and yellow ones. Put it in there, throw some gloves in there. You can throw your enzyme and all that kind of stuff in there. If you have the little track for the sewer hose to lay in, you can throw that in there and keep that stuff all segregated from all the other stuff, so you're not getting any of that waste or splashback on anything. All right. So never leave your black tank valve open. We talked about that. Hooked up to the site. This causes that poop pyramid. Wait for the tank to be at least 2/3. That's 2/3. 2/3. Not 1/3. 2/3. Now, if you go to full, that's fine. Just know that if you leave it on full long enough and you keep using it, it will come up back through the toilet on the black tank. If you do it for your gray tanks, that'll come up through your sinks or your showers. Wait until the tank is at least 2/3 before dumping. Flush the black tank first, then close it, open the gray valve, and flush that. Your gray tank is just dirty, soapy water, maybe a little bit of food or anything, and some grease. So that kind of flushes out your hose with a less dirty water than the black tank. So that way when you disconnect it, it's not going to be as detrimental to your health. All right. Any questions on sewer hoses or anything like that? Or sewer accessories? We kind of talked about a few different ones there. Gonna go ahead and call out Mr. Craig here for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Do appreciate that. Any subscriptions, subscribing to the channel, likes, and stuff is always appreciated. All right, on to number 4. So number 4, so I just kind of found these. I kind of like the kit. I think I liked it just because it was green. It's kind of my favorite color, lime green. But these heavy duty leveling blocks / wheel chocks. So these things are actually pretty cool. You can see the different grooves here, so this will actually move. You'll use these on one side of the trailer to level it, lifting it up and down. And then you're fine. Yes, it is. Guess I need to color the letters for the other two. Are you alright?
No, I'm just really shaky.
Apologize. That was my wife. That was my wife. Okay. So you can kind of change the angle. So you'll use these on both sides. You'll kind of drive up on them. As you drive up on this black one, it'll lift up, and then you slide these green ones to kind of lock it in place. This one does come with a little bubble level. Just make sure your trailer is level before you install that on the side. Oh, I do apologize for that. I get these ones right here. These ones right here, just because they're easy. They're small. They don't take up space. You can mount them to the side. They got a couple screw holes and everything like that, but they're not long enough. So in my tools video, I recommended a 24 to 36 inch level. That's what I recommend using on the floor and just inside the door, and using that to level. These are going to be good for like if you're just trying to get it close, and then you want to make a little adjustments later or something like that. But it does come with that. So I think it comes with these little mats that they can sit on, and obviously this one comes with a bag, which is super nice, so you don't got your stuff all laying everywhere. With that, a non-level RV is highly uncomfortable to walk in, sleep in. Most importantly, cause your absorption refrigerators. So the propane, if you got a gas electric fridge, those are meant to be used when the trailer's level. If they're not level, then the flow can't happen right, and then it's not going to cool right, and then they can actually go bad a little bit faster, just because that liquid inside there is getting hot, but it's not able to flow correctly and everything like that. These fridges rely on gravity-fed chemicals to be cooled. Operating them off-level causes catastrophic overheating. Choose your box. So interlocking blocks are Lego style. Lightweight, highly stackable, great for adjusting height under jacks or tires. The curved rocker ones, which is what I got shown right here, allows you to simply drive forward or backwards until the rig is level, then locking it in place. You always want to chalk your wheels before unhinging, just so that trailer doesn't start rolling. Use heavy-duty rubber chocks instead of cheap ones. Lightweight plastic ones, which can slip on wet concrete or gravel, you don't really want to use, which is why these ones actually come, I believe, with this rubber mat. So that way you can set it on there and then they won't move, they won't slide. It gives you that little bit of friction to keep everything in place. So if you do something like these ones, that's kind of your chalk and leveling system all in one. If you want to do the little blocks where you kind of stack them up, they kind of have like the Lego pieces, is what they look like, and you kind of stack them up and drive on top of them. Then you're still going to want to chalk the other side for sure, or get the ones that the X between the two tires if you have a double axle, and just keep the wheels from spinning. Alrighty. Anyone out there camping right now? Why don't you drop where you're at right now? Campgrounds. Share a little bit of your experience. It's always good to find new campgrounds and everything. So throw that down in the comments and see if anybody else has been to those kind of places. All right, so we're gonna get on to number 6. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but didn't really go into depth. That's gonna be an inline exterior water filtration. The units I've used don't have the inside ones with the canisters or anything like that, so I always get one of these. They're relatively inexpensive. You can usually use them for a whole season depending on how much you camp. But they just screw on to that water regulator. They got a flexible line here, so it gives you a little bit of flexibility up here on the end or on the bottom, so you can put it on either side. And Then you hook your hose to it. So campground water sources come from various places, including city grids or deep rustic wells. It is common to encounter heavy sediment, high chlorine levels, sulfur, odors, iron, all that kind of stuff. So you have a couple different tiers. So you have the tier 1, which is what I'm showing you here on screen. That's the standard blue inline filter, good for sediment and basic taste improvements. They must be replaced every 3 months. So that's kind of your basic one. You got a dual stage canister system, so it's got those 2 bigger canisters. Those are when you kind of start getting into those more expensive ones. But the first stage filters out that heavy sediment down to about 5 microns. The second stage uses a carbon block to eliminate chemicals, taste, and odors. So that's that carbon filter. So just making sure you're flushing those filters out before you throw them in, get all the dust and stuff out of there. And then kind of your best, this is, complete design for off-the-grid boondockers to kill bacteria and viruses from natural water sources. Those are those UV purification. Let me see if I can pull up one of those. Let's see. UV pure. I'm actually curious about this one. Here we go. I've definitely never seen one of these before. These must be something new or something that doesn't get used a lot. Do. Come on, let's load. Always store your canister while I'm waiting on that to load up. Always store your canister dry between trips to prevent mold growth. Use food grade silicone grease on the rubber O-rings to keep the seals watertight. So you're just going to take a light little dab, rub it on there on both sides. And then that keeps that seal nice and neat. All right, so let's open that up as a separate one here. All right, so this is what those RV purified purifiers look like. So basically, the water goes in there. There's a UV light, so you got to have a plug-in. Looks like 110, and it basically uses UV rays to disinfect and immediately peace of mind of up to 99.9% disinfection rate. It's just like your top of the line thing. So, I mean, you could put this in your house, you can put this in your RVs, you can put this in pretty much anything. And then let me go ahead and pull up the other one here. RV canister filter. Not that one. Not that one. So like this one. Good time for a coffee break. I got this fancy computer and it takes forever. So here's what the canister filter looks like. So you get your 5-micron filter on the left. You got your carbon filter on the right. The water comes in through the left, goes out the right, and it's double filtration. So that's your canister filters and your UV purification. So get one, whether this is the one I use, because then I just throw it away after a little bit of time, and then we're good to go. All right, next one is TPMS. So this is always good. Keep track of them tire pressures. So this is one that just kind of mounts on your dash. It's got a little solar thing, or it's got a charging plug that you can plug in here to your, like a USB port in your vehicle. And then these little caps all go on your tires. So they do make ones that come with 6 caps if you are running a triple axle. I don't think I saw one where it comes with just 2 caps. So you'll just have an extra set of caps there if you're running a single axle. But RV tires carry immense weight and are prone to dry rot from UV exposure. A highway blowout can easily rip through the RV's wheel well, destroying wiring, plumbing, and body panels in seconds. I don't know how many insurance estimates I've written up for people because of tire blowouts. It's just an unknown number, and most of them don't have TPMS systems on there to monitor the tire pressures and temperatures. So like this one does pressure and temperature of the tire. So if you're driving down the road and you see this front left tire is 20-30 degrees hotter than the rest of them, I think it's time to pull over, because that tire pressure is probably going to go up too. So getting one of these is super. Early warnings, you screw onto the tire valve stem, transmit the live pressure and temperature data to your cab. It's got rapid leak detection, alerts you of a puncture long before the tire goes completely fat. It also does that temperature monitoring. High temperatures often indicate a failing wheel bearing, or you're dragging the brake, so you could be dragging the tire. This allows you to pull over safely before a fire or a blowout. So it's kind of a preventative safety device, which is great to do. You're going to check all your baseline tire pressures every morning before you drive. That is always something I do. And then program your alerts 10% below, 20% above the recommended cold tire pressure, which that is located on the side of the RV on a little sticker. Usually there's two spots. One has your a larger one has your VIN and all your weights and stuff, and then the other one is usually just a tire one. It's white, yellow with a little bit of red on it. Always use that recommended tire pressure from the manufacturer when you're doing that. Alrighty. Any questions on tire pressure, drop those in the comments below. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe to hear more about RVs. Alrighty, next one is going to be those portable lithium power stations, solar generators. So the one I got on screen here is Jackery. Jackery is a very well-known brand. I've dealt with a lot of customers who use these as a solar generator and use this instead. So the link I have in the description is for this one. It comes with that portable solar panel to help charge it, and then you got definitely a couple different plugs here, stuff like that. So traditional gas generators are loud, require messy fuel refills that are restricted by strict campgrounds and quiet hours. Portable lithium power stations offer silent, emissions-free backup power. They're also usually smaller, so this is probably smaller than a carry-on suitcase. Probably more about the size of a backpack. You can have them inside, so you can run your coffee maker, blender, CPAP machine overnight without needing to start or maintain your onboard generator, or run an inverter, which is going to drain those trailer batteries. You can put it outside, projectors, charge your drones, run portable refrigerators right there at the picnic table. Quickly replenishes the power station by using a portable folding solar blanket, which you can see here. That's what this is. You just point it towards the sun and it recharges this thing back up. You can use a 12-volt car outlet, so if you're traveling between campsites or anything like that, you can charge it in the tow vehicle. Or if you're plugged into shore power, you can go ahead and plug it right into your trailer and it will charge this thing back up, and then you have it in case of an emergency. They do make different sizes. I believe the one I put in here is 1,000 watt, which can't run everything. It's not going to run your air conditioner or microwave and stuff like that. But it does give you a little bit of options to run, coffee pots, CPAP machines, blenders, all those kind of things, charge your phones, all that kind of stuff. So, I know, like, my mom, she uses one, and then she's got a portable, like a larger portable speaker that she used to plug into it to charge it while she was out just chilling out, listening to music. She'd plug her phone into it when she needed to, all that kind of stuff. So they are pretty cool, and I definitely would recommend getting one of those if you're a little bit reluctant on getting a gas or propane generator, whether it's portable or mounted in the coach. Now, those will run everything as long as you get the right size, those regular gas propane generators. Just kind of depends on what you want to do, but there are definitely options out there. Next, so these ones are actually kind of cool, and there will be a little disclaimer about these at the end, but upgrading your locks to a keyless entry remote keypad. Most factory RV locks are universal key codes. So like if you got the little silver ones round, it'll say 751. That is the most common tumbler used on an RV. Now, most of the time they're used on like outside showers and, stuff that people really aren't going to be trying to steal from your RV. But if you got one of those purple keys and you have a G371, well, the person right next to you might also have a G371. Now, the Global and Bauer locks, they do have a lot of different key codes, so the chances of you running into somebody are probably pretty slim. But to kind of mitigate that and a little bit easier for you, get one of these electric locks. So RV Lock is a good brand. I've used a lot of them. They're battery operated, so you just use AA batteries in the back of them. They still have the keys holes, so you still get keys. So if the batteries die, you're not locked out of your trailer or anything. But some of them will come with the little clickers, so you can lock and unlock everything like that. And then they also have the keypad here. So no more carrying a bunch of keys or anything like that while you're hiking and stuff. You can just leave them at the thing, use the keypad to get back in. Features usually full metal housings, deadbolts, encrypted wireless key fobs, and then they're easily programmable, so you can set your own code for it. So you can set unique codes actually for family, friends, maintenance workers, so that way you can actually know who's going in and out of those units. Kind of the disclaimer, though, is make sure that when you are taking it to a service facility, that you, when you're checking it in for the drop-off, that you are giving them your key code. Just in case the keys don't work or something, you still want them to fix your unit. Or their master keys don't work, because a lot of technicians, we have master keys, almost like a skeleton key that will get into certain locks and stuff, but make sure you give them your code, so that way the tech has it and can get in and out of your unit to get your service done. So that's my little disclaimer about it. That, and always keep extra batteries in the coach, which you should already be keeping 9 volts for your smoke detector, but keep a couple extra AA's, I believe, is what these use in the coach, just to have them as a backup. Alrighty, so that's kind of it for the entry door locks and everything. Not a whole lot to them, just super nice, convenient way to get in and out of your unit. All right. Staying connected anywhere. I think that's one of the biggest things. It's just the way that the world works nowadays. So whether you are a digital nomad working from the road or simply want to stream movies on a rainy night, reliable Wi-Fi is incredibly rare. So right here, what I got is a signal booster. So this boosts your cell phone signal. Uses an antenna that you mount up on the ladder or up on the roof or something like that. And it could capture that faint cell phone signal and it'll amplify them and rebroadcast them clearly inside your rig. This is great for boosting that cell phone coverage while you're driving. So even while you're driving down the road, you can have that thing running and it's on. Another thing, so I don't have a picture of that. I have not personally used them yet. They are starting to get very, very popular in the RV industry and consumers, and that is satellite internet. So that Starlink Roam, I believe, is the one that you can use going down the road and everything. Provides that high speed, low latency broadband internet across those remote areas. You want to utilize those mountings on those heavy duty ladders, tongue jack poles to elevate the equipment above your neighboring RVs. With the satellite stuff, they usually have to be pointed in a certain direction and everything like that. So just kind of make sure that your tree coverage, buildings, other RVs, that stuff isn't in your way. Otherwise, you might have to move that. The cell phone boosters, usually you just mount them as high up as you can. So at the top of the ladder or something like that. And then just follow the instructions on getting connected and everything. There's a couple different brands. So the one I have in the description below is the one I'm showing you on screen. That's just from Amazon. King Jack makes a bunch. Winegard also makes a bunch. So your units may be pre-wired for those two brands. So those would be the brands that I would recommend going with, just because there's a lot of pre-wiring already done, and you don't really have to do a lot of custom work. So if your unit has a King Jack sticker somewhere saying pre-wired for signal boosters, Wi-Fi boosters, or anything like that, or Winegard, what they have is a little silver white puck up on the ceiling usually somewhere, and it's got like a blue sticker on it. That's your Winegard. You already have the antenna up there. You just need the inside receiver that mounts to the ceiling and a power source for that. And then you can get the SIM card for your cell phone company and put that right on your plan. And then you get cell phone signal, or you can use it to boost that Wi-Fi in parks. So you connect to the park Wi-Fi, and then that thing boosts that signal to all your devices, and you're basically just connected to the Winegard, which is boosting that signal for you. So all good things. Me personally, when I go camping, I'm trying to detach from the world. Usually leave my phone in the trailer unless I'm controlling the music outside. I don't really get on my phone a whole lot when I'm camping. I'm trying to get away. All right. So this last one kind of has two items. This is number 10. I wanted to kind of go over both because two of them are super good accessories to add onto your trailer, especially in certain conditions, which we'll go over that. So the first one, I just kind of found this one. It looks pretty nice. Holds about I think a little over a liter of water, but it is a dehumidifier. So people that are full-timers, they live in their campers. In the wintertime, you're going to get a lot of moisture inside, and you're going to start getting condensation on your windows, maybe dripping out of the ceiling vents, stuff like that. And that's because it's just like a cold glass. You got cold water inside, but you got hot ambient temperature outside the glass. It starts to build condensation. It's the exact opposite inside an RV. The inside of the RV is hot. The outside of the RV is cold because it's wintertime. So you start getting that condensation built up on your windows, in the attic, all that kind of stuff. And what you can do to mitigate that is get a dehumidifier. That pulls the moisture and the water right out of the air. You just dump it every once in a while once this thing starts getting full. Another place where you'll start to get that condensation buildup is the bedroom, because of your body heat. So then the mattresses can start to get wet, especially in the corners or up underneath. So they actually make these disposable ones. They're a little bit smaller than a coffee can, maybe a little smaller than like a thing of Crisco. You just peel the tops off or whatever, and I would stick them back by the corners of the bed, and that kind of keeps that area a little bit drier, and you're not going to get water buildup, moisture, and potentially mold and all that kind of stuff. So human breathing, hot showers, cooking all release significant amount of moisture into the into a compact RV interior. Without proper ventilation, the moisture traps against the cold walls, windows, leading to harmful mold growth and structural wood rot. Stuff we don't want to do, because that's not warranty, that's not extended warranty, that's going to be customer pay and or an insurance estimate, which could increase your rates and stuff like that if you're starting claims. So combating that humidity, you want to use that compressor dehumidifier. Actively extracts pints of water from the air daily. This is highly effective during those colder seasons, camping, or humid coastal trips. So if you're down south or by the coast, it's definitely higher humidity in those areas. So check out the dehumidifiers. They're usually pretty small. You can put them on the countertops. Don't take up much more space than about a coffee pot. The other thing that you can do is you can get these max air covers, right? Because in the wintertime, you got snow, you got rain in the fall, all that kind of stuff. So you put one of these covers over your vents, and then you can still open them up. You're not going to get any water in, but then you can turn those exhaust fans on and blow some of that hot air that's sitting up at the top of the coach. You can blow that out. So those heavy duty plastic shrouds that install directly over your ceiling exhaust fans, they allow you to leave the roof vents open for airflow during heavy rainstorms or while your rig is parked in storage. Kind of keeps that hot air from just kind of sitting up at the top, creating any sort of moisture and stuff like that. And I think there's that UV thing. We got those other filters here. So those are some accessories that I definitely recommend for any new RVer, any experienced RVer that just doesn't know. Get those things. They're definitely a must-have for any RVer. Investing in these accessories will protect your rig, keep your family safe, and eliminate the most common stresses of RV life. I've linked every item that we talked about, except for these last two. What I'll do is I'll try to throw those in there in the description below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and drop a comment below letting me know which accessory is your absolute favorite. Which one can you not have, you know? So most people aren't going to have all of these, but they definitely have ones and they're like, yep, I have to have that one. I didn't have it, and then I got it, and now I understand why I need it. So drop that in the comment below. Thanks for hanging out today. Enjoy your coffee. Enjoy your Sunday here before the new week starts. Safe travels, and I'll see you out there on the open road.